Hi, I am Odeean. Today I'm having a look at Unique Toys A01 Soundmixer. This is the very first thing from Unique Toys that I've purchased. I've kind of steered clear of Unique Toys just from a slightly bad reputation online when it comes to quality, along with the fact that everything pretty much they've made I haven't liked the look of an awful lot. And I just wasn't in any kind of hurry to get it. I thought if I pick them up, it'll be cool. If I don't, I don't. What put me over the edge with this one is I watched Chachi Power's review of it on Rocket Punch Army. It's an awesome channel if you want to check it out. And I kind of respect his opinion, and he seemed to like it. So after watching his video, I went and bought it. And here it is. It comes with a high quality plastic trading card. I don't really care. I've sort of got over that after the first 10 times I've seen it. I don't know why anyone bothers anymore. We do have the internet and computers to store pictures in. It's cool that they did it, but I think that these guys think it's necessary where it's really not. It also comes with these instructions and the figure itself wearing a bunch of really weird armor, which I have no clue as to why it is there, but given that it's removable, probably cool just to have as a little gimmick. Here's a better look at Blaster wearing his armor. It's not very becoming, and I mean, it seems to serve not much purpose. I've heard it speculated that Unique Toys didn't want to sell a product that looked too close to G1 Blaster right out of the box. I don't buy that. I think that none of these companies could give a shit what Hasbro think, and they must have some other reason for doing it. I don't know, maybe just to differentiate it from the other version, because there's another company that's about to release a blaster. Maybe they needed this differentiation. He also has this kind of megaphone looking contraption. You could use it as a gun, a fire extinguisher, some kind of booster rocket for flying in space, or a bullhorn to tell people there's a shark in the water. I don't know. On the top of his head, it's got a set of goggles, but I mean, this is how they ship, with the goggles on his forehead. I wonder if they can go over the eyes. Maybe my one's just not in the box properly. Let's see what can happen here. Go on. So I guess with a bit of, maybe with a bit of effort, I could get it over those eyes, but it doesn't seem to really want to go. No, they just like to sit in the forehead, so they're not really goggles, they're some kind of sensor package. Luckily, all that stuff comes off, and we're left with a pretty damn good looking updated G1 kind of blaster. There is a little bit to be said about the face not being exactly right, but it's close enough for my liking, and I'm pretty happy with it. He's got a very good range of posability for a classic style figure. And everything that you need. No double jointedness or anything like that up there at least. But he accomplishes more than a lot of official Transformers do. So he's good in my books. The head has this beautiful silver paint over the face, but just a unpainted grey plastic dome at the top. It doesn't really bother me a lot, but it looks slightly off. I've got another blaster over here, and if I bring him over for comparison, you can see that the Fall of Cybertron blaster, or Generations blaster, has a kind of yellow paint there to look like goggles, and the shapes in Unique Toys Soundmixer look like they could have been painted yellow. I'm wondering if they might have tried it and just didn't like the way it turned out, so left it grey instead of doing that paint, because the moulding looks like it could have yellow painted on over those kind of indented regions. For a smallish figure, he's detailed pretty well. I like these silver painted buttons down here. I like the little silver highlights on the kind of groin guard. I like how, even though this is grey plastic, they've got this gunmetal silvery paint in the vents there. Going down onto the legs, we've got this nice molded speaker area, and you know, the paint is done pretty well. I mean, remember I said this is my first Unique Toys. I have nothing to compare it to from them previously, but this is a positive thing. I'm probably going to get something else from Unique Toys eventually, just based on the strengths of this. I'm pretty happy with it. As you would hope with a blaster, the chest panel can open up like this and reveal a cassette. And I love the idea of a transforming cassette deck. That's why this is a pretty good blaster compared to most of the other ones I've got. If we pull this out, it's just sitting in there. It doesn't really slot in. We can see some little spool gears or whatever you want to call them in there. That's nice. Close it up. We get this tiny little cassette. Now, it's not a standard cassette size. If I grab a Masterpiece buzzsaw here, you can see it's significantly bigger than this Unique Toys cassette. I don't care in the slightest. This is fine looking for the figures I want to stand it next to, and I really just don't care about the size of these cassettes. It means nothing to me. I'm sure one day I will have a Masterpiece blaster and he will be able to take these Masterpiece cassettes just fine. Anyway, this cassette, it can just fold out like this and form a, a kind of G1-y style gun. It's not exact. We've got the basic shapes still there, but whether it's G1 or not, again, I don't really care. It looks like a cool gun to me, and the fact that it goes in his chest is pretty awesome. To slot that into the hand, all you have to do is pop it right in like that. Now, looking at the other hand, you can see that both of these hands have the ability to open. I'm not sure why. I don't really think that serves a purpose. They've just done that so you can gesture with the hands, and we've got this kind of C cup kind of configuration, so that while the hands are open, he's still kind of capable of holding a weapon, but you'll see that because the handle is flattened out a little bit, it can get a little bit loose. It's a pity that the hand can't rotate, because I keep wanting to hold his own gun, but to accomplish it you have to bend the shoulder up in this really weird position, just because his wrist has no swivel in it. And if there's any shortcoming, that's probably the most noticeable one, at least in robot mode. For size comparison, here's the other blaster that I mentioned a minute ago, the Generations Fall of Cybertron blaster. I like that toy. It's pretty cool. I wanted a blaster, that's why I bought it, but I think this is a lot better. This is an actual blaster, whereas this is just a kind of repainted Soundwave. And you can clearly tell that this is Blaster. He's not repurposed from anything, and I don't think you could very easily repurpose him into anything. Here's a comparison with Masterpiece Smokescreen, and even though they look like they scale, I don't think that it's really right. I think Blaster should be a bit taller, and what gives it away in particular is the head size. I know Smokescreen has a thick head, but it's not that thick. I think that this should probably be about that tall. Maybe the correct scale for MP would be that Fall of Cybertron blaster, because he is about as big as what I would expect, especially in the head area, but they still look good together. Here's a scale shot with Generations Warpath. I think they look really good together. They look like they belong. And when you put him next to a deluxe figure like that, he seems to be closer to a Voyager. But when you put him with a Voyager figure, he seems to be closer to a deluxe. So if you can say he's one particular size, it's not that easy. He's in between a Voyager and a deluxe, and he feels pretty decent. The transformation is pretty intuitive. Most people would be able to get it in one go without the instructions, I think, but it is not overly simple either. It's pretty fun. So the first thing we do is pull the head down like this, rotate the face around, put this like this, and fold it back up. You'll hear a snap as the pegs in. Then grab the forearm, and we want to fold out the section with the hand attached to it, then fold it up again, flip the hand in like this, and rotate the whole thing so it's in this misaligned kind of configuration. Then all that happens is it will zigzag up and be folded away like that. It all tucks into place. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold out this hand section, fold up the hand goes in, arm turns around. This one's a little bit tighter than the other one. Gives me some trouble sometimes, but there we go. It's all tucked away. Then the two arms just sit at the side like this and kind of nestle into a little groove. Next we want to grab the upper part of the body and rotate it around to the back like this. Then I'm going to fold these feet up. You'll see that there's a little gap. That just slides up. Seems to be spring-loaded to keep it into place, which is nice. You can hear it. Listen. Okay, then bend out these little clips. They were the heels. Later on they're going to become the handles of the tape deck. This is going to fold down like this. Open them up. Just leave them there for the time being. Between the legs there are these little panels and they fold out twice. So just fold them out to get them available for when we need them in a moment. Next, what I want to do is above the thigh here, just turn it like this so that the angle at which the knee joint bends is upwards like so. Then rotate below the knee until you get the speaker at the front, and then all you got to do is put it up like this. Now this on mine is super tight, but there's a little tab in here which you use to lock everything in place. I've done it a couple of times to break it in, but boy, the first time I did that it was super tight, and you can see if I get a little bit closer, it's actually stressing out the peg hole. So I think maybe a little bit of sanding is called for, and if I do this much more, it really looks like it's going to snap. There are stress marks forming right now, so after this video I'm definitely going to do that. So bend that knee joint in the right direction, below the knee goes around, all of it comes up, and push, push, and force it in. These simply lock in at the top. Oh, something's not right. Give it a bit of a squeeze. And there is Blaster. He's a pretty faithful rendition of the Blaster tape deck. Unfortunately, from the back, all his thighs are exposed, which is unfortunate. It's pretty ugly, but it's only a biggish deluxe figure. It doesn't need to be as perfect as a Masterpiece or even a Voyager would have to be. So I feel that it accomplishes what it needs to accomplish in this Blaster mode, and any pictures or photos you want to take are easily going to be done with this. That looks pretty cool. A nice amount of paint apps, a nice amount of different plastic colors. It's good. It's a good figure. My final thoughts. I've been pretty positive in the review about the figure itself, and I am positive about the figure. I think it's as good as we have at the moment version of Blaster, making it probably worth picking up. I feel like the price, I think there's a big range in prices you can get this for, ranging from about $55 up to about $75, depending on who you buy it off. And then also the shipping is going to be a major thing. If you can get it close to where you are, I guess that changes the whole equation. So I felt that it was a little bit overpriced, but not by much. When I look at one of their other figures, like the Messiah / Mania King, I feel like $110 for him is probably starting to be crazy talk prices, because he's only a little bit bigger than this. But this Blaster is pretty cool. There are several weak points, and most of them have got to do with tolerances. So I showed you that stressing out tab area at the front. Apart from that, all the joints feel a little bit looser than what I'm comfortable with, and I think that after a little bit of posing and a few pictures, this guy is going to become really floppy. So don't play with it too much if you buy it. And you know, a lot of mainline figures have got that floppiness issue. I mean, I know my Rhinox had the floppy knee syndrome, so it's not just Unique Toys, but given the premium we pay for third-party product, I really would wish that they had stiffer joints than what this guy has. So would I recommend him? I do recommend him, as long as you don't pay too much. I think that we're going to get a better version of Blaster. It just seems inevitable to me. I think that someone's going to do it better than this and bigger than this. So this is kind of a niche. It fits in with my Hasbro on-the-shelf Transformers that I look at from day to day, and I think that that's where it belongs. But the minute there is a better one, I will be jumping on top of that, and then this guy will probably get packed away. So if you can accept that caveat and just enjoy it while it lasts, then yeah, go out and buy it. That's been my video review for Unique Toys Soundmixer. I'm Odeean. Thank you for watching. I mean, I'm not sure I even want, to be honest, a blaster at the same size as like Soundwave, Masterpiece Soundwave or something like that. I don't think I enjoy the figures that big. These Autobot cars we've been getting lately, that size is really nice and I'm happy with it. I know that the Decepticons should be bigger and kind of puts it in scale when you make them bigger. It's proper, but something about the like the Datsun and the Sideswipe mold and all that, I've been enjoying them so much that a part of me wants to see a blaster at that size, not a full-on Masterpiece scale, but I doubt that will happen. Anyway, thanks for watching again.